Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Automated Advantage. Today we have Omar on. Omar, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company?
Hey Greg, thanks for having me on. Yeah, my name is Omar Thor Omarsson. I'm a guy from Reykjavik in Iceland, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Optice. And we're the first self-driving B2B website platform that can automatically ship improvements for B2B websites that drive more leads and more traffic and helps them rank on Google and AI engines and all of that. So we're just trying to make optimization and management for websites really easy and effective.
Yeah, no, and you and I had the pre-conversation. So maybe give a couple of the key components of it. So if somebody's setting up their website, you told me about automated reviews and updates and things like that. So give a little story about how it impacts and how people can benefit from leveraging it.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been in the business for 15 years. I used to be many times a CMO. I used to run a B2B agency. And time again, I've just seen how important the B2B website can be for the revenue for a B2B company. Back when I was a CMO, sometimes 95% of our leads and pipeline came in through the website. And I just struggled a lot with knowing how to improve the website, what to do, is it working or not, and so didn't go to website school, so I didn't really know. But I read everything I could. I worked with a lot of agencies. I tried all the tools, and eventually I figured there must be a better way to do this. And AI came in at exactly that time, which made it possible to do what we're doing. And essentially what we're doing is we're plugging into a lot of data that guides everything. And that could be like customer data. What does the company do? Who is their target audience? What's happening on their website? What do they want to get out of the website? All of that. And then we plug into market data like search engine data from Google and Bing. We plug into AI engine data from ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and which are the search engines of the future, if you ask me, and even started to be one now. And then we have a whole ecosystem in our platform of the thousands of websites, and we're kind of always looking what are the best ones doing, what do they have in common, and that all feeds into our intelligence engine. And that engine crunches all the data and kind of picks out the gold nuggets and figures out what improvements are going to drive the best results for this particular website and this company. So the platform will suggest, hey, there's a broken link, fix that, or you need content for this because this topic is surging online. You need to add these pages, and just anything that happens to be relevant for a website: copy, images, design, technical foundation, content, sitemap depth, UX, mobile experience, all of it. And that it suggests these improvements, and then the platform can actually implement it for you, which is I've never seen anywhere else before, and it wasn't possible before AI and no code. So that's one part of the platform where we can kind of put it on self-drive, if you will. And then there is a second part where the user has full control itself, has full control through a really user-friendly content management system. There's a content creator in there where you can create content like LinkedIn posts, blog posts, pages. And then finally, there's analytics, and they're heavy-duty analytics, so you know exactly what's working on the website and what's not. So we're just trying to kind of think about everything that makes it easy and effective to run a website.
Yeah, and then that's huge because I know when we're talking to clients too about, helping with this overarching marketing, we call it the lead gen engine, that all of these things have got to work together. And I know this doesn't come as a surprise to you, but it did to me when I started doing this, is how many websites the links are broken, their call to action is so unclear, they everything to everybody, and people click on, and then the statistics show click here, and somebody's like, this is too hard to go find what I want, and they leave, and that type. So you're taking all of that into account
Yeah,
and optimizing.
exactly. That's exactly it. And
That's
there, actually, incidentally, because I was just reading a report before this webinar, this podcast, was that Framer, which is one of the tools out there to manage your websites, although I've used it for a couple of years, and although I don't agree with their approach to solving the problem, what they were flagging in this report that just came out, it's like 2026, the State of Websites report, and they were saying creating a website, whipping something up is a commodity now. You can whip up a website with Lovable or Claude, or like you can whip something up and it looks okay, but that's not nearly good enough. And they were making the claim that, this is something we've been saying for 1 or 2 years now, is that it's actually the magic happens with improvements over time. You learn what's working, what's not working, look at the data and improve it week on week. And that's what people struggle the most with.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, a lot of people are doing that, right? And like you say, it's, yes, having a web presence and all of that is fine, but having it where it's actually working for you is really what's necessary.
Yeah.
Thinking about the whole, aspect of, and I think from you guys are in the about to launch mode and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm not going to do pricing and stuff like that, but from just the basic conversations you've had, we talked about, I mean, people are asking for tens of thousands of dollars to look at and set up and manage websites. And you guys have got this platform now that literally is fractions of that, but it'll sit in the background and do all of that work for you.
Exactly. I mean, when you start thinking about creating a website, or or even want to do you're tired of your website and you want to create a new one, you usually, most teams will either try to design it themselves with one of these do-it-yourself tools, and that's going to take a lot of effort internally, and you need to take into your own cost of your time, which can just become huge very fast. But or the other way would be just to hire an agency or somebody to do it for you, and that is just going to cost you a lot of money. And we're just trying to simplify all of that and reduce that cost a lot. So we charge a standard license fee, and then there's credit-based usage depending on how you use the platform. So it's tied to real value, actually.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And then also what I was going to go back to too is you mentioned the search engines of the future, and that's the other component, right? I mean, I know a friend of mine has a home improvement business, and somebody's charging him a stupid amount of money and claiming that they're going to optimize his SEO. And I was like, dude, I wouldn't. I mean, I know it's important, but you need to do that with the search, with the language model searches as well. Like you can't just have the one anymore. So yours is, you said that earlier, it's taking all of that into account too.
Yeah, exactly. And what these consultants, or these sometimes they're called CRO engineers or something like that, conversion rate optimization experts, they'll come in one time and do it one time, but that's not going to be good enough. You have to work on it all the time and listen to the market. What are people actually looking for? And create content for that. So when people are searching for something that is relevant to your business or your offering, you create content that addresses those queries or those keywords, and that's going to help you rank on all these organic engines, which is, research shows, are the best visits you get to your website and the most likely to turn into customers.
No, this is incredible, and I think it's you guys have captured a really solid piece of the market there. So let's switch topics or a little bit and say, okay, so you said you started in marketing. Have you always been entrepreneurial? Did you have a job, and then you sat down and said, "Listen, I want to be my own boss," or whatever? What's your journey been to getting to where you are now?
Yes, so I've always had this in me of doing something myself. I have several failed attempts at it. My dad was an entrepreneur. He built several businesses the old school way, and I've been working at a full time job. But I had a wholesale company in healthcare, or like not in supplements. It was superfood supplements. I tried that for a while. I had a tourist store on the main street in Reykjavik, where I live, because tourism was booming in Iceland, and I figured, man, that must be something. And then, yeah, a couple of other ones, but I really didn't really figure out what was going to be my thing and would just be my passion in life, which is technology now. And I just felt, and that's what came with me when I started as a CMO for the biggest SaaS company in Iceland. And I just immediately like figured out this is what I want to do. And I had carried that feeling in my chest for a while, and I was like, what is it? I need the idea though. What is my idea? And after I quit as the CMO for that company, started my agency and worked with hundreds of B2B companies. And I saw, hey, these companies, they're all having the same problems. These teams at me, when I was the CMO, nobody here knows how to optimize a website. Nobody has time for it. And at the same time, the websites couldn't be more important for their business. There must be something there. So we started out, and then that's when I got the idea to create a company that was pretty much an analytics company. It was supposed to be a Google Analytics killer, and it was supposed to show you just all your numbers, how many people are coming to your website, what countries are they coming from, what channels are they coming from, what's working on your website and not. And then we used AI to kind of suggest stuff like, hey, you should do this, you should do that. And that was the original idea behind the company. And we did that for a while. We started out in analytics and we got a bunch of customers, but I saw quickly that this was just part of the problem. The actual implementation of those suggestions, what was the real problem for these teams? And that's when we started to work on the self-drive part.
Oh, that's incredible. So taking those, let's not call them failed attempt, they call lessons learned, right? So
Yeah.
let's take those. So if you were to share with somebody that says, look, I'm sitting here, I think I want to be self-employed. What are some of the lessons learned that when you got into this line of business, that you said, I need to do this because I don't want to repeat what I did in the past? Any words of wisdom and things that you can share?
The kind of learnings from the learning, the failed learning attempts.
Yes.
Yes, I would say the most important thing that I can tell anybody is pick the right people to work on this with you. Because if you have great partners with it, because it's a roller coaster of the mind. It's gonna drag you down to hell. Sometimes it's like it's not going anywhere, nothing's working, nobody believes in this but me. Then sometimes you'll have pure euphoria where it's like everything is working and it's just awesome. And if you don't have partners you trust or people working with you that you trust, I just think it's going to be 1,000 times more difficult. And then there's when when you're down or things are tough, you need to rely on each other to back each other up instead of start fighting about it. And I've been really lucky to meet some really smartest people I know throughout my career, and that's the people I assembled on this team. I was lucky enough to convince them to join. So that's one point I think is, and also investors. If you're raising money, I feel investors almost look at the team more than the actual original idea. They'll be like, they're going to start out with this, and they will fit. This team is going to find a way to make something happen. And I think that's so team first. That's my number one tip, I guess.
Yeah, and then I think from what I hear from other people, and you can validate this, is having been in management and leadership in the past and learning, your ego goes out the door. It's really, when you mention that, surrounding yourself with good people, but also having a very open mind to be able to take good advice now. And everybody's going to give you their opinion, and so maybe just talk through the good advice and then how you discern, what to implement and what not to implement. Is that?
That's a great question, and that's something I really take seriously as the CEO of the company and kind of the original founder with the idea is that I brought all these people on, and I don't want to fail anybody, but and everybody will give you suggestions, and you should do this, you do that, and that's what I think makes a really strong leader is one that knows what is important and what is not, and is willing to take risks when it's appropriate and make mistakes and learn from them. Mistakes are the best things that can happen to you if you can learn from them, and then having that discipline to actually carry that stress and that, all of that in your mind, and knowing when to kind of go out for a run or go to the, cold plunge or something, and meditate to kind of keep calm and keep focus. And I've gotten, a lot of bad advice in my time, and some good advice. And I guess the magic is knowing which one is what. One of the best advice that I've got early in my business was from one very smart person that I've worked with in the past. And he said, and I didn't realize how important it was when he said it to me, but he said, the most important thing I can tell you now, because I've done this, Omar, is focus. Be super focused with everything you're doing, focused with your time. If people are asking you to come to lunch and you don't think it's valuable for you, or people are asking for a call, or people are asking of your time, you have to be able to say no. No is a very powerful word, and if you can use it correctly, and respect that it's healthy for you to say no. It's not please everybody. That's one of the things that I try to always keep in the top of mind.
Yeah, I think it's actually really interesting. You bring up a couple of good points there too, because I personally am struggling with you and I were talking about a little earlier about exercising and bike riding and training and those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And for me right now, my number one thing is trying to block off time on my calendar to have time for myself, because not only are
Yeah,
you staying fit, but your point is it's kind of like therapeutic. I ride my bike for an hour and I come up with a million ideas and things like
exactly,
that.
exactly. And it's carving out that time, because you're like, I don't have time to relax. I don't have time to, go away. But it's going to multiply, I think, your productivity and creativity, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and I'm curious for your opinion on this too. One of the things that I was taught a while ago, and I have a little, I have a notebook in my iPad that says top three things to do today. I actually boil it down to two. So I just put the two things, and it's closing deals, getting leads, or whatever it is, and then everything on your to-do list needs to be associated with that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's to your point, right? So if somebody says, "Hey, can you do this?" and you go, "Is it contributing to those things?" and the answer is no, then yeah, no.
That's smart. I like that.
So
I
it's
like that a
it
lot.
takes discipline, because shiny object, and especially with what you like when you're trying to build something for people. I can imagine that the rabbit holes are very deep that you can go into.
And people like also just God bless my team. I love them. But like if I'm in the office, I'm in Spain right now doing a workcation, kind of trying to exactly what we talked about, get a little sun, get a little bit of time to myself, and kind of gather some energy. But it also, it gives me quiet time at work, because if I'm in the office, my team will come to me like, "Oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And it's distracting, although you want to help, but it's having that focus. And if sometimes I'll just have to say, I say to them, if I'm laser focused on some things that I want to achieve, I'll go, "Listen, I'm in the matrix. Please don't disturb me."
Yeah, I think I mean it's it, like you said, because otherwise, I mean, we're doing this for lots of different reasons, but quality of life and life balance is one of those key components. So, I mean, I think just being authentic and honest is perfectly fine. Because otherwise, you'll
Yeah,
work 15 hours a day and never get to do the things you really want to do.
I think so too. And that's like one of the people that I've looked to for like kind of learn to look to for leadership is our good old Steve Jobs, and he said, "I don't have time for bullshit. I don't have time for placating to people's feelings," and that's why he was like ruthless at times. I'm not saying to that, but you have to be like honest. Just there's otherwise you're just wasting time.
Yeah, no, that's 100% right. So just thinking, you sort of touched on it, but I'm curious, as with the building a piece of software, and maybe this goes into the managing your day. Is there such a thing as a typical day for you? And if it is, what's the time split between the different things that you get to do?
Yes, that's a good question. It comes more in like in seasons, I guess. I'll be focusing on certain things for a while and then it moves to something else. But a typical day is for me, I try to focus on my brand awareness as a thought leader, as a founder. So I'll always dedicate some time to LinkedIn. That's been very beneficial for me. And then I'll always focus some time on our website. Obviously, I need to, drink my own Kool-Aid and eat our own dog food and all of that. I then I'm quite active in reaching out to people and telling them about our product and try to get meetings and show it to them, doing just pretty much one-to-one sales. Then I always am very obsessed with the product. We have these stand-ups at my company and kind of fixed meetings that we do that we go through the product, and I get kind of an updates from the rest of the team. But yeah, it sometimes I think a day is going to go one way and it goes completely the different way. So it's tough to. I can't say I have a perfect rhythm.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's okay because that's part of being an entrepreneur, right? It's like when you talked about I studied to be an accountant, and I knew really quickly that that's not what I wanted to do because the
Yeah,
day is everything the same. Whereas, having been in sales, marketing, consulting, there's no similar day ever, which to me creates, exciting environment. Yesterday, I had an email hack, which, derailed my day by over 2 hours. And it's like, at some point in time, it's like, listen, it's a thing you need to get over and then
yeah.
just move on.
What was the hack?
So,
I'm curious.
so somebody suddenly got these response emails that I was sending out a DocuSign for people, and I got this, what's this DocuSign? And it turns out that a client of mine had actually sent me what now turns out to be a spam that was to get onto an RFP DocuSign, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't open it. And then I gave up, sent him a note, and within minutes, suddenly I'm getting this thing. And so I quickly changed my password, and then the Google help people, I was chatting to this guy who was incredibly helpful
Yeah,
to go look at devices. There was somebody that was in New Mexico that has hacked into my environment and was doing this thing. He put the auto out of office
yeah,
response on. So anytime an email came back to me, they got an email saying, please download this document. So I was like that, but I think the damage is done. All my email got deleted. So I had to, like, I'm very good about remembering what was in there because I do keep it clean. But it was like,
yeah,
it took 2 hours of my day and I was stressed out because I had things to do. I was like, listen,
yeah,
life comes at you and you just got to figure it
yeah, yeah,
out.
yeah.
So, hey, so this is really interesting and super exciting to what you guys are learning. So let's talk launching. Tell everybody again the name of the company, the name of the how to find you on the website, your LinkedIn, and all of that stuff, so that we can put it out there.
Yeah. So the name of the company is Optice, and that's I guess it's not really a secret. It's short for optimize. So it's about optimizing, your website, optimizing everything that has to do with your digital presence. And the website is optice.com. And we have a free trial on there. If people want to go and try it out, you can get a really good overview of what's working on your website. You'll get some suggestions. You'll see if you're ranking on Google. You'll see if you're ranking on AI engines. It will tell you a lot of stuff for free. So it's a good health check for your website. And then my name is Omar Thor Omarsson, and that's my name on LinkedIn. I post a lot on LinkedIn about just websites, about AI. I'm pretty obsessed with AI engines at the moment and how companies can rank on those. And I have to brag a little bit, or maybe it's not a brag, but we were nominated for Best AI Solution in Iceland. And the award ceremony was yesterday. I wish I could say we won, but we were in second place. And somebody said to me, second place is first loser. And but everybody thinks like, oh, who won then? But it was a great recognition for us for not being around longer than we
That's
have.
incredible.
And yeah, so we're the
That's
second best
exciting.
AI solution in Iceland officially now.
You know what? I think you should make that your marketing tagline. And I mean,
Yeah,
hey, when they get the Oscars and people, I was just happy to be nominated.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
So
that's it's a good for morale as well.
now people, that's exciting. I think from a company perspective, like you say, I'm sure the team was super excited. And you
Yeah,
didn't win because you're in Spain, and otherwise you would
I
have been
think
in
so
the
too.
room.
Yeah, I think that's the reason.
So
But they went
no,
up on stage, and my CPO he had a little speech, and I watched it on my phone. But yeah, it was a little tough to not be there.
I'm sure. But so again, I really enjoyed the chat, folks. You know where to go find this. Sounds like an amazing tool, an amazing opportunity for you to optimize your website. So Omar, I really appreciate you spending your Friday evening with me, and I'm look forward to getting this out for everybody else to see.
Thanks for having me on, Craig.
Cool. That was all.